are making decisions. This is just a continuation of the G7. We've got Jeb Bush in Europe right now, reportedly deciding whether he's going to run or not. Now, this is where Bill Clinton went in 1991 and came from nowhere. It's where Tony Blair went in 1994 before becoming prime minister. These are the major kingmakers. When we come back, Rob Dew is reporting from Austria, 6 miles from Bilderberg, with checkpoints all the way up over the mountain to the other side, where the Bilderberg group is set to be meeting. And for a week, Austrian papers have reported the federal presence there crawling all over the hills, looking to stop any reporters that dare try to go to this meeting that isn't important. All right, Rob Dew, InfoWars Nightly News Chief of Staff, is up there with Josh Owen of InfoWars. They're in Telfs, 6 miles away, to get internet. There is another little town that they're staying in that's up on the top, and you go over the mountain, and Bilderberg's 2 miles away, the hotel there. Tell us, again, the name of the little town up on the top of the hill where you're staying, and then describe the hotel where Bilderberg, huge luxury complex, golf course, you name it, out in the middle of the Austrian Alps. And this is truly unprecedented. Not even G20 sets up checkpoints 6 miles away, not even G7. And, of course, we see G7 meeting right before Bilderberg. You'll have the very people that are at the G7 at this event. When I was in England 2 years ago, of course, the prime minister was there, and they said, oh, he won't be there. And then, of course, he did show up and became a national news story. They do not want to be revealed because then their agenda of TPP and the rest of it starts getting exposed, just like the exposure of Bilderberg is now forcing the UK to go for a vote and a referendum, which they never had, on being under the EU. Imagine being absorbed by another grouping of countries and you never had a vote. So Rob Dew joining us again from Telfs, Austria. Describe the topography, describe the local geography, and give us a 360 pan.
Sure, I'll do that. The place where we're staying is called Buchan, and it's a little hamlet. Probably where we're at is actually 2 lodges and a little small apartment, and then across the street there's a couple other buildings, but that's about it. It also has a bus station there. And then you go a little bit further down the road and you hit the Hotel Interalpen, and that looks like a giant pyramid. Go figure. That's where the elites would want to meet, in something that looks like a giant 3-sided pyramid. And there's a golf course up there, and then there's nothing much else up there. But let me give you a quick pan. We're staying up the hill, up the hill. It's up the mountain. But let me show you over here, Alex. Look at this. I mean, nothing but beautiful tranquility, mountains. You hear birds chirping. There's a car going by every once in a while, but really peaceful. And that peace is being totally decimated now by these federal cops.
Well, you know why? Because smog moved into the mountain.
That's right. He liked the gold that was contained within the mountain.
And he doesn't like you being there, so his orcs are running around looking for any press.
That is a perfect metaphor for what is going on, because they are orcs. They gave Josh the stink eye really bad at the end. They go, we will tell you where you can go. You can go here, you can't go there. You can go down there, you can't go over there. I mean, it was really, it was very orcish. It was very orcish.
Well, finish up with the federal police that are there. I mean, that's news in and of itself. That Austrian, that's what they are. I looked them up. Federal police are there in their tactical outfits, running around harassing reporters. Describe the whole catalog of what happened to you. Then we're going to go to break, come back with Josh Owen, get his take.
Well, so we were putting together footage of the interaction at the checkpoint and then the first interaction at the hotel. And then all of a sudden, Josh goes, they're coming down. And Josh, how many were coming down at that point? I was editing, so I wasn't looking. About 8 coming down this beautiful prairie, like something like a bizarro Little House on the Prairie. These giant federal troops coming down, just looking like that. And then they go, we want to see your passport. So they're getting in our face, want our passports. We give them our passports. They go, who else is staying with you? This place can house 4 people. We go, we have 1 other person on the reservation. The owners told us to put everybody on that we thought would come up. So we also have PJW, Paul Joseph Watson, on the reservation as well, so he can get up the hill. Because let me tell you, if you're not on that booking, they're not letting you pass the checkpoint. So then they took that. I showed them my press pass. I said, here, I'm press. You know, we're here a couple days. This thing doesn't start till Thursday. We're coming up.
We're having a Skype breakup. Let's fade him down for a moment.
Surrounded by cops. I said, don't feel very.
Tell him to start back over. He started cutting out. You were at the part about surrounded by cops, and you were telling them that you were press, and go ahead.
I pulled out my press pass. Right, I pulled out my press pass. I said, I'm with Free Speech Systems, Infowars.com. They're starting to write all this down. They're really looking intent. They're like, you said you were on a trip. I said, well, we had a couple days to kill, and the real event isn't starting until Thursday. So, yeah, we are on a trip right now. We're shooting beautiful video of this beautiful countryside, a very beautiful country. The flight in was amazing. We were flying next to mountains. We have footage of that we'll put up later tonight. Just getting here, we're gonna have a whole montage. But we thought we'd have time to do that today.
Wait, finish up with the cops when we come back, and then I'll give you a moment to switch Josh in front of the camera. But juxtapose this to England. Certainly not free compared to the way it used to be, where we had like 3,000 demonstrators outside, not one arrest, not one problem with the cops. The cops come into our hotel having dinner with us. 3,000 people showing up. No problems. You go to Austria and, you know, the stereotype reigns true. Talk about an ad for Super Male Vitality and Survival Shield X2. You're watching us on TV. If you search engine Alex Jones, Bilderberg 2013, or Alex Jones, Watford, England, or thousands protest Bilderberg, England, you will see over 3,000 people covering a grassy knoll over the Bilderberg Group hotel where they were meeting, about a half-mile away. 3,000 plus people peacefully demonstrating against global shadow government, and then the prime minister arrives. They try to sneak him in secretly, but it becomes national news. But talk about Super Male Vitality. If you're a radio listener, the photo of me at the 2013 Bilderberg event giving the speech, I'd already lost about 15 pounds there. I've lost another 40-plus pounds since then. I mean, look at the belly on that creature. And that is what, I was doing more exercise then. Like, let me just do a plug right now and I'll go back to my reporters. I got up to 279 pounds, or I'd gained 99 pounds from 180 pounds of my fighting weight. And I've lost 60-plus pounds since then. I mean, when I got my shirt off and stuff, I've taken the photos and shown people. It's at InfoWarsLife.com. I almost have a six-pack now. On the sides of my stomach, muscles. I have bumps now, muscles. I lose like 7, 8 more pounds, I'm going to have a six-pack. I've got a long torso, so bending over, there's still a small belly there. But I've gone from being obese. I've gone from being in perfect shape to being obese to now getting back towards it, doing less exercise than I was 3 years ago. I was swimming a mile almost every day, trying to jog, lifting weights, and it just wasn't doing it because I didn't have the iodine in my body I needed. And the photos we have on screen right there was just what I lost in 45 days taking Super Male Vitality and X2 religiously and not forgetting to do it. And look, I don't claim I'm some beach boy model. The point is, it's dramatic effect. InfoWarsLife.com, InfoWarsStore.com. I wasn't even intending to plug Survival Shield, Nascent Iodine X2, and Super Male Vitality, the two key products. Oxy Powder helped as well. That helped me do it. But then we were looking at photos to illustrate that Bilderberg a couple years ago, 3,000 plus people show up. Everything's peaceful. We expose it. Newspapers all over the world report on it. People say, why are the elite meeting in secret? It does violate British laws. It violates U.S. laws. And so now they just meet in Austria, famous for being a police state, just like Germany is, where they ban, demonstrations against radical Islam. Well, they can ban anything if you can do that. And then now I've got my friendly, mild-mannered reporters that are simply there at Bilderberg 2015, and all they're trying to do is report on what's happening. And the way the cops are acting, unless they get word and pressure to stop, they're going to probably end up setting the guys up, giving them tickets, arresting them, throwing them out of the area, something, which will cause an even bigger incident for Bilderberg. I mean, if Bilderberg is smart, because my guys are well-behaved, so was I, no problem in England. Told the cops I was coming there, told them I wasn't going to stir up any trouble. I was going to try to cover a legitimate event. It's legitimate to want to cover 150 world leaders meeting in secret. And I said, if you want to be stupid and arrest me or set me up, as Canada did, and make it a big story, you go ahead and do it. I said, if you want to be legitimate and act like a free country, I'll buy you dinner. The cops wouldn't let me buy them dinner, but they did, have a Coca-Cola with us. But a lot of the cops told us off record, no, we totally agree with you and know this is criminal. They're here to loot our country. Same thing happened in Switzerland. Same thing happened in the U.S. The cops were on our side, most of them. Because why wouldn't you be on free speech's side? Reporters aren't illegal. Cameras aren't illegal. But no, in Austria, they are acting like famous thugs. And this is what Estelin predicted when he was on a few weeks ago, I guess a month ago with us. He said Austria is a serious police state. They like to cover it up, but look out when your people are there. I want to show some of the Watford newspapers. It was all over British newspapers, but I think if you type in Bilderberg 2013 Watford or Alex Jones talks to press Bilderberg 2013, you'll get amazing press photos off the cover of newspapers. The shots we're looking for, I'm talking to my crew, are shots of newspapers. We took them. They're on Infowars.com. I want to show that in articles, the difference. I want to do a story. The difference from England, the difference from the U.S. with the police versus Austria, where they've got people shut down 6 miles out off major roads that go over the Alps and aren't letting people travel down those roads. Unless you are staying at one of the lodges nearby, and then they come to your lodge and get in your face there. This is just unprecedented. But finally, we did sell out of almost all the Survival Shield Nation Iodine X2. I walked in this morning, and Weldon said, yeah, I took it off at 8 a.m. and said sold out. And I said, so you sold out of every bottle? And he said, well, we like to keep back about 200 for any breakage or any problems or any lost stuff. And I said, will it really be 200? We'll have that many. He goes, no, I just like to keep a reserve. And I said, no, sell them all. I want to be totally sold out. So there's 200 bottles left at InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. And we may get a limited supply in the next week or so, and then that's it for a while. We'll be sold out of Survival Shield Nation Iodine X2. We're trying to get more of the crystals, the pure deep earth source. Other iodines are kelp-based. We've got the purest kelp-based out there with Classic Survival Shield. It's excellent. It's not as strong. Folks like to give it to their kids. It's still an excellent product, not as strong or pure. It's not toxic, and it doesn't have any additives, or it's been tested. It's totally clean. It's just not 9999 iodine. It's more like 99 something. But it's the next cleanest out there after our flagship product, Survival Shield X2 at InfoWarsLife.com. And it's your purchase of the breaking ground, cutting edge, groundbreaking is the word, products at InfoWarsLife.com that funds us engaging in real journalistic efforts. Where's the mainstream media covering Bilderberg? See, we'll force it, then they'll finally report on it when we get footage of the world leaders, the helicopters, the jets, the checkpoints, the attendees list. We'll force it to be covered. DrudgeReport.com will force it to be covered. In fact, you can go to DrudgeReport.com right now and link through to Bilderberg 2015 full attendee list and agenda, elitist confab to discuss artificial intelligence and more. I'll be breaking more of that down. But if I'm a bit breathless here, because this is so amazing to be sitting here watching this. But mainstream media, it's come out on record, is ordered not to cover Bilderberg. They begrudgingly, the last few years, have been forced to cover it while making jokes about it. They made jokes a few years ago about TPP being secret. No one's laughing now when the top right-hand story on DrudgeReport.com is Bilderberg. We salute Drudge for helping break the blockade and get this information out. We're going to expose the secret nature of this global private corporate government. We're going to expose the entire agenda. We're not going to back down. This is news. If 150 top movie stars were meeting in secret, it'd be huge news. If 150 soccer commissioners were meeting in secret, it'd be big news. If 150 NBA stars were meeting in secret, it'd be big news. If 150 NFL stars were meeting in secret, it'd be huge news. If 150 150 top tennis players were meeting, it'd be big news. If 150 top scientists were meeting in secret,